I went on a date the other night. Brittany's laugh is unexpected. Like, she sounds like a hootenanny. Like, she does a laugh, right?
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grimm. Today we have another special treat from TLC's 90-Day series. We're catching up with good old Colt, who I'm sure many of you who have been an OG fan of my channel would recognize. I made quite a few videos on this guy last year, as well as Ed, but he, in my opinion, is just like the second in command for the cringe army. Ed is, of course, the freaking general, or whatever the top is. I don't know, he's Master Prestige or something, but yeah, Colt, just to catch up for those who don't know, met his first wife on this show, and after 5 days proposed to her and made her his wife. They had quite a messy history. He called the cops on her twice. Basically, she freaked out on him all the time, and they got a divorce. So then he ended up finding another girl from Brazil named Jess, who he kind of, you know, hit it off with, obviously. But now we're gonna hear some details on what happened to her, as well as see him go on the most painfully awkward and cringe-inducing first date that you might ever watch televised. That's right, in my opinion, parts of this one are worse than that first time Ed met Liz, and that's hard to do. That's hard to top, you know? So sit back, buckle down, and get ready for an onslaught of awkwardness. Make sure you watch until the very end to capture every last drop of this cringe. And without further ado, let's just get into it.
Larissa broke my heart, I would say. I felt like I did so much to try to make our relationship work, and it blew up in my face, and it was over.
So real quick, this is just him talking about Larissa, and he says, you know, I tried everything to make this relationship work, but if we go back and chronicle their whole time being here, he actually was just pretty rude and awkward around Larissa, and then called the cops on her twice. Both times they had a verbal argument, claiming that she was crazy and she had to go through all these court proceedings, all the while lying to her about, you know, other girls that he might have been talking to, and just being overall kind of scummy. So yeah, maybe you don't get it still, Colt, but we all understand what happened there. You kind of were a D-bag. So then I said my intro, we find out what happened to him and Jess, but we actually found out what happened in the season finale last time. I totally forgot. She found out that he had still been talking to this girl Vanessa back home, and she was actually watching his 6 cats, you know, while him and his mom were away on this vacation with his girlfriend. Yes, that's a term I actually just said. He brought his mom along for the freaking vacation to meet this woman. So after being exposed for lying, Jess really just walks out, throws her shoe at Colt, and claims that she's absolutely done. So now she's out of the picture, and our boy Colt is looking for love. The show is called Single Life, so you know he's about to be single and ready to mingle. He's heading out to a social distancing speed date session, which is about as awkward as you'd think. You know, most of these are already going to be a weird function you're going to, but now you have to scream at the person from over 6 feet away. So let's just see some clips of how that goes.
I was married, divorced after 6 months, and here I am.
So after multiple awkward pauses and just a sea of awkward silences, Colt struggles his way through this speed dating session and is basically retelling his entire life story to these women instantly upon meeting them. I get that there's a speed dating aspect to this, and you're trying to flesh out all the info you need, you know, before your time's up and you have to rotate to talking to someone else. But he literally is starting off every conversation like, yeah, I got laid off last year, I live with my mother, and I have 6 cats. What about you? Oh, and I'm divorced, by the way. Yeah, I got married after 5 days and it didn't quite work out, but you know, we make mistakes. Like, that is really not a good resume, Colt. Come on, man.
Would you date Colt?
I would not date Colt at all. Yeah, no. No.
Oh, big yikes. So that woman he just talked to was very adamant that she would not date Colt. Like, it wasn't even a, oh, you know, maybe I could see myself kind of going on at least one date with him and trying it out. She was just flat out saying, no. Yeah, I'm not wasting my time with that guy. He's kind of a nutcase and he's really weird and doesn't quite know how to have a conversation. And directly as they're interviewing this woman, around the corner, they must have a B crew, or an A crew, I guess it would be, interviewing Colt, asking him how it went. And this is one of the toughest to watch scenes because it's like every nerd's worst nightmare. Not only getting declined, but also getting publicly shamed and embarrassed while you're taking an L when it comes to asking a girl out or something. Check this out.
Are you hopeful you got some matches?
I'm very hopeful. I feel like I made some connections. I'm at least trying.
Get the hell out. Get mom's out. Yeah, salte, pa fuera.
So as he's answering this saying, yeah, I think I might have gotten some matches, this lady's over here just popping off, making fun of the fact that he's in his 30s, living in his mom's house still, and that he's kind of a loser. Oh, that is so ridiculous and so embarrassing, bro. Big effing chat for Colt right now.
Tu mamá de estar ahí contigo. Just get out.
It's getting to shreds over there.
I don't think she's a match.
Yeah, I don't think she was a match either, Colt. I think it's safe to say, once she starts cussing you out in her native language and just overall mocking you in front of you, basically, just around the corner, it's pretty safe to assume she's not interested in even a friendship with you. So after this big L of a speed dating night, Colt has a heart-to-heart with his mother, which is his best friend at this point, while he scoops cat litter out of the litter box that is right next to his bed. I don't have a cat personally, but that's a little bit unsanitary and freaking gross if you ask me, but let's hear what Colt has to say.
I don't know. We'll see if I get any matches.
Yeah, well, at least you're getting out there. It's a start.
I still live with my mother, Debbie.
And she's of course being supportive, but deep down she knows that there's probably just many more nights like this in Colt's future, unless he changes some things. He has lost a bit of weight from the last season, I will say that, but the whole game aspect of how he actually talks to people and, you know, holds conversations is still incredibly lacking. But he basically professes to his mother that he is not really interested in any of these women. He's actually really interested in dating this Vanessa girl, who was the one that stayed back and watched his cats while he was in Brazil. He has quite a history with her. They became friends because they were both in marriages. He was with Larissa, she was with some other guy, and they just weren't working out. So they bonded over that. And she actually was the girl that Colt had an affair with while he was with Jess. I know this is a confusing timeline. Second wife or fiance, I don't even remember if he proposed to Jess or not, but that whole second relationship, he was cheating on her with Vanessa. So now he's like, you know what? I'm tired of having her as a side piece or friends with benefits, whatever it is. I want to ask her out for real. So he invites her out to a coffee shop to have a little conversation with her, and much like everything else in Colt's life in this episode so far, it does not go very well.
The more I got to know him, I kind of realized that he's a bit of a liar. There's a few women that rotate in his life, so when he's asked me to be his girlfriend, I always say no.
She doesn't want any part of it. She knows he lies and he's a little bit, you know, untrustworthy. I guess a good example of that is the fact that he had an affair with you while he was in a serious relationship on TV, might I add. So it's a little bit backwards that she doesn't have trust with him, even though she technically committed the act as well, but it does show that he has it within him to be a cheater, which is a very bad trait. And you don't really have room for many bad traits when you're someone like Colt, who already is kind of at a disadvantage when it comes to, you know, dating and relationships. Just from a personality perspective, I'd say.
I care about you.
I know.
What's your problem? You just don't trust me?
No, not.
And he gets in this weird defensive mode, which shows that he truly is deep down one of those, you know, nice guys that you hear about, where they think that they're so nice and they're entitled to love, and they're always stuck in the friend zone, and those girls just go for the muscular chads. I'll never be muscular and have a girl. That's literally how they think. And then when it turns back on them and they get declined, they just become really aggressive and mean, honestly. And this side kind of comes out here with Colt. I'll show you another clip where he's clearly just kind of getting angry at not getting his way.
Are you afraid to lose me? Do you care? What if I just stop hanging out with you? You just want to have the best of both worlds here? You want to be the best friend, occasional lover without the responsibilities of being in a relationship?
Cole's back to speaking like he's the main character of a movie. This dude also has main character syndrome. Pretty much, he shares so many similarities with Ed, and that's why I thought it would be great to start a video on him. They both have this really weird, mean side when they get desperate, and it's just disgusting to look at. He's basically just berating this woman, threatening her like, if you don't date me, what happens then? What happens if I don't become your friend anymore, and you're lonely, and you don't even get to hang out with me casually, all because you declined me? How about that? You ever thought about that, idiot? Like, come on, dude. You shot your shot, you missed. Move on. And actually, he does that exact thing. Right after getting declined, he sets up a date through, I think, a family friend or something, hooked him up with this woman and said, hey, you should try this out. So he pulls up to her house the next day with some flowers. And this is where the really, really tough to endure part happens, as you're gonna see this date is just doomed to fail from the start.
Oh.
Come on into my humble abode.
I brought you a present.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you.
So Colt pulls up in the gloves. I mean, he's being safe at least, but he really just looks like he got done doing the dishes about 5 minutes ago. And at first I thought this was just gonna be the mother of the person that he's coming over to date, but no, that is his actual date. I think this is a bit more of a cut and dry situation over Liz, because, you know, with Liz, we're kind of ambiguous. We're like, oh, she's getting paid off by the show. She just wants attention and clout. But I have no doubt in my mind that this woman only accepted this date with Colt because she knew she was gonna be on TV. I don't see another reason why she would accept this. Unless that's her type. I mean, I can't judge. You know, love is love, but I just don't see it. You'd think she'd be dating like an ex-NFL player or something.
I am the 4'7", so getting closer to the big 5'0". I am at that age where I definitely am looking to find somebody to cozy up with and get old.
And wow, this lady is almost 50. Quite a big age gap here. Not quite as big as Ed and Liz, but I will say, if the whole Liz thing doesn't work out and Ed is still looking for someone who will subject themselves to humiliation and awkward situations purely to be on TV with him, he should go for this lady next. I mean, they are only 8 years apart, and that might be a little bit better than the 3 decades he's got on his current girlfriend on the show. I can't call her girlfriend yet, but you know the deal with that. Either way, I don't know who would know this lady and Colt and be like, oh yeah, they're both single. Yeah, they should go on a date. Like, whoever did that, props to you, man, because you just created some freaking cringe TV gold.
Brittany looks amazing. I had no idea what to expect. She's very hot, but that's not the only thing that's important to me.
You know, Colt's just really deep down, like super into down-to-earth people, and you know, looks just isn't all that he's looking for. But she is pretty hot. I mean, I gotta admit, that's literally the energy I just felt from that clip. He's like a little high school boy, so excited that he gets to hang out with this woman. Colt. If only you knew the way this night would go, man, you would not be saying that. So they sit down and they talk a little bit, and this lady actually admits that she's into like the same nerdy stuff that Colt is. Check this out.
I actually even know a little bit of Python programming. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I'm like into physics a lot. Astrophysics, quantum physics.
She kind of just sounds like a neckbeard on Reddit that's lying about his credentials and lying about being smart to win an argument on the internet or something. Like, yeah, I'm pretty into like, you know, string physics and theoretical time dilation, outer space, Python code. Yeah, I'm pretty well versed in it. Like, you're just pulling words out of your ass at this point. But, you know, Colt latches onto this and he's like, wow, she's into computer science as well. I mean, I can't doubt that. She might actually know how to code for all I know. But that's exciting for Colt because he's thinking, hey, this might actually take off. Until the energy switches when she gives him a tour of the house and brings him to a odd room, to say the least.
Tight.
I know.
Have a seat in your bottle. Brittany's laugh is unexpected. Like,
and that laugh, man. Oh, Colt even comments on it and says it's a little intense.
Brittany's laugh is unexpected. Like, she sounds like a hootenanny. Like, she does a laugh, right? So what was this all about?
The image of him just sitting here awkwardly, like not knowing what to do in this situation, paired with her crazy laugh, and he just gets uncomfortable every time he makes her laugh. This is going swell already. But she explains that this room is, you know, kind of just a party room. She hangs out, but she also works one of her jobs here by creating certain types of videos for the internet, if you know what I'm saying. Obviously, for those of you that get it, you get it. For those of you that don't, she makes educational videos on anatomy. But anyways, Colt's like, yeah, I don't mind. That's kind of cool. And just goes with the flow. But things continue to be pretty awkward even after that big icebreaker of inviting him into her video room.
I don't know. I really feel like we should go in the jacuzzi.
Sure, why not?
Oh man, and Colt is getting even more hype right now, but he's also a little bit nervous because he hasn't been in a bathing suit since Brazil, and we all know how that went. But she invites him out to the jacuzzi out back. They're sipping some drinks, and she even has some swimsuits to offer him that are probably going to be about 3 sizes too short. At this point, I think Colt realizes he's not really interested in this woman. Like, he's attracted to her, and she is into the kind of the same stuff as him, but I think the laugh is really throwing him off, and he's just weirdly picky with women as well. Like, he doesn't quite know what he wants.
It's been a good date so far.
Oh yeah, it's really interesting. Honestly, I didn't think we'd have a lot in common.
It is difficult finding somebody that, you know, seems to be cool with everything that I do.
So I was kind of surprised at first. It seemed like they were having a really good conversation in this jacuzzi, you know, just about each other's lives, and it was pretty normal. And I was excited. I thought maybe we'd avoid, you know, them getting really weird and making this super awkward, but no. It's TLC. They gotta include some painful segments, so get ready for what I think is the peak of this video when it comes to cringe.
Your glasses are like, they're getting fogged up.
Okay.
Like, what the hell was that laugh, bro? Oh my god. And then she brings him in for a, you know, intimate gaze between the both of them, and I just can't handle this, bro. It feels like it's a scene out of an American Pie movie in the early 2000s. Like, real life does not happen this way. But no, that wasn't the worst part of it. She goes in and makes a move for a kiss, and actually Colt is the one to deny it. But I don't even know if you can classify this as a kiss. It's more of like she was trying to taste his nose, I think.
Landing an airplane.
Okay, closer to the right, to the left, to the left. How about on the cheek?
I want my mom. Like, I seriously am considering calling my mom to pick me up, even though I'm at home where I live myself. But that's the energy I have right now. Like, I did not want to see that ever in my lifetime. Oh, thankfully he dodged the lick attempt there and is like, how about on the cheek? But after that, it pretty quickly fizzles out, and you could tell that Colt pretty much got scared away by that attempt.
This is not how I thought this night would go. I think I need to get going.
Awkward. So they kind of shuffle on out. She's even saying on the way out, even after taking this L, saying things like, oh yeah, we should totally see each other again. This would be fun. I really enjoyed hanging out. And he's just like, yeah, bye. And straight up leaves. Make up your mind, man. I thought this was exactly what you were looking for, but maybe the fact that she's not Brazilian did it for you. I don't know what's going through your mind, but apparently this was not what he was looking for. And actually in the next episode, there's a scene that I'm going to show you just a tidbit of to close things out, where he talks about why he curved this lady.
I thought she was gonna like lick me like a dog or something. You know what? The funniest thing though, I was with her, the only thing I can think about was you.
So smooth man Colt hops on the phone and calls up Vanessa, who we know from that conversation earlier, the woman he had the affair with and that he's actually truly in love with and wants to start a relationship with, despite her lack of trust. He calls her up and says, you know what, babe? I was basically in a jacuzzi last night with a cougar who does internet videos, and I denied her licking my face because all I could think about was you licking my face. I need you, Vanessa. Like, he thinks he's so suave when he talks. You could tell in his face, man. I just feel like these cameras being pointed to him is inflating his ego even more, man. You gotta chill with talking like this. You're not in a rom-com or something, dude. This is a sad, humorous television show.
I've been thinking about you for a long time now, and it doesn't seem like anything can really distract me away from that.
So after some more smooth talk and assuring her that he can be trusted and he is fully invested into their possible relationship, he gets a yes on a date. So it sounds like things are looking up for Colt here. But as much as we know from the episode with Ed, as soon as something good happens for these guys, they find a way to freaking screw it up. So I'm excited to see what happens in the future if you guys want me to continue this Colt series. I realize it's a bit different from Ed, but it also hits those points of just like making me curl up in a ball and want to die when I watch it. Like, you guys don't understand when I do these recordings how many times I have to pause and just like walk away from my computer for a moment. It gets that bad. But that about does it for old Colt today. Let me know what you thought of this episode down in the comments below. If you made it this far, you're a true warrior of cringe and you can really withstand a lot of awkwardness if you made it to this point. Seriously, I applaud you. And thanks so much for watching to the end of the video. Make sure you drop a like if you haven't already and subscribe to join the Grim Squad. You guys have been absolutely killing it on my channel with the engagement lately, and I appreciate it more than you may ever know. But as always, I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, peace out.